Hello, so this will just be a tutorial on how to get Deltarune set up for speedrunning on Linux. There's a handful of different ways to do this, but the way that I've found works the best is through Bottles. You could probably do this through Lutris or Steam, but Bottles is the most reliable for me. So you can install it however you want. I'm going to do it through the Flatpak, so you can skip to the timestamp on screen if you already have Flatpak or if you're going to install Bottles in a different way. So you can just go to flatpak.org, choose whichever distro you have, and then set it up through there. So I'll install this real quick on here. Okay, so after you've installed it and added the FlatHub repository, all you need to do is reboot, so I will be right back. Okay, now that we've rebooted, we can get to installing Bottles, so you'll just do Flatpak install Bottles. You can then say yes, yes, let this install. And now that we have that installed, we can go ahead and open up Bottles. Okay, so now that we've got Bottles set up, there's a couple things that we're going to do first. You can go into the hamburger menu here, go to Preferences, and then Runners. We're going to download the latest cafe. Currently it's 9.7. You could try the latest at whenever you're watching this if 9.7 is not the latest, but 9.7 works, so you could just install that one. And now that we have that installed, we can create our new bottle. So you can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to name it speedrunning, and then you're going to check the gaming preset and then change your runner to the cafe. It'll take a while to create, so just let it run. Alright, now that our bottle has created, we have one more dependency to install before getting Deltarune set up. So you'll go into the dependencies menu here in your bottle, and then you'll do all fonts, and then install that one. And we'll wait for that one to be finished. Alright, now that all the fonts are installed, we are ready to install Deltarune. So I'm going to be doing this with the Steam full game release. It does work with the Chapter 1 and 2 demo. I'll put a link in the description to the version of the game that I recommend running on, which is 1.10. But it'll pretty much be the exact same instructions. If you're going to grab it yourself, definitely get the one from itch.io. But otherwise, you can open up Steam. You'll also do the three dots menu here, and then browse files to open this up. And then once Steam finally opens, you can right-click Deltarune, go Manage, and then Browse Local Files. So that will open up this menu. In your bottle menu on the left here, you're going to create a new folder. You can call that whatever, but I would call it Deltarune because nothing else makes sense. Open that up, and then copy-paste all of the files from your Steam Apps Common Deltarune into this new Deltarune folder here. So after that, you can go back to your bottles here, add shortcuts, drive C, Deltarune, and then deltarune.exe. So now you have Deltarune in there. If we start that up, the game should launch. Brand new vanilla, so your save files will not carry over directly from Steam. You can manually move them, which I'll show in a little bit, but it is just the base game right here. Now we are going to set up Livesplit for your timer. So you can go to the Livesplit website, downloads, and then just download the latest version from here. After that, you can open up the browse files again. Sorry, I shouldn't have closed that in the first place. You'll extract your Livesplit, and then this folder right here, you can also move that right into drive C here. Get rid of that. And then the same way that we added Deltarune, you can do add shortcuts, drive C, Livesplit, and livesplit.exe. You can then launch Livesplit. You got your timer right here. Edit splits after right-clicking, and then you'll set up Deltarune in here. So it will automatically detect Autosplitter right here. It won't detect everything else because Livesplit just kind of does that. It will often freeze. It'll often just be unresponsive, so wait for it to be responsive. The categories will often not show up as well, so you will likely have to select a different one, and then go back up, select Deltarune again, and then after a bit the category should load properly. We can pick whatever chapter here. I'll pick chapter 1. And then on the Autosplitter we can click activate. It'll take a few seconds to initiate the Autosplitter. And then once it's initiated, you can click on settings and then select whatever you want here. So just for a test, I will select chapter 1, beginning, check on whatever splits you want, click OK, and then set up your splits in here. So I'll set these up real quick for all of chapter 1. Alright, I have them all set up. You can also just download these splits from the speedrun.com page. There's pre-made splits for pretty much every category. Or you can manually set them up like that. So now we have this here. You can go ahead and then open Deltarune right here. And if it was detected correctly, which it should be, Livesplit will warn you that it uses game time for this game. You can click yes, change it to that. We'll start from chapter 1. Empty save files here. You can kind of position everything however you want, do whatever customizations to the layout you want. But as long as you have the Autosplitter set up to split and it's enabled, then as soon as you start the game, it should start the timer. It's very laggy here because I'm in a virtual machine. It shouldn't be this laggy for you. It works perfectly fine on my end. Okay, so now I'll show you how to get your save files from your Steam version in there. So you're going to access your Steam folder whatever way you know how to. I usually just go /home/my-username/Steam, and then you go Steam, Steam Apps, Compat Data, and then it'll be your 1671210, that's the app ID for Deltarune, PFX, Drive C, Users, Steam User, App Data, Local, Deltarune. And that's where all of your save files will be in here. So you can just copy all of those. Then you'll go back to your bottles, browse files. It'll be in pretty much the same directory, so users, your username, app data, local, Deltarune. Then you can replace whatever is in here with your Steam save files here. So now let's launch the game again. And I'll do a quick run just to show that splitting does indeed work. I forgot to make a split for the Goner maker there, but you can see now that it did split on that first time, so your Autosplitter should now be working. So now I'm going to show how to install the 30 TBps mod. There's essentially no downside to doing it, so I would highly recommend it. The only thing you're going to need is the 30 TBps mod folder, which you can get from the speedrun.com resources page. So you can open that up, go into Windows and Linux, open a terminal here, and then the first two things you're going to do, you need to make sure that the patcher, both patcher files are executable, so you can do chmod plus x, and then the patcher file here, and you also need to make sure that the actual patcher is executable, so chmod plus x, you'll do the patch files folder, and then Linux flips in there. And now you can run the patcher in this folder. So it'll bring up this right here. You're going to select your game directory. You can go back to your bottles here, do browse files, Deltarune, and then pretty much copy this entire path right here into the box here. Press Y. You can see it detected my chapter select in each individual chapter, and then patches them all. You can close out of here, open up your files once more, Deltarune, and then you'll have data.win and data30tbps.win. Temporarily rename this one to data original, and then the 30 TBps one, you can change that back to data.win. Now you can open up Deltarune again from your bottles, and you'll see in the bottom left there it says 30 TBps mod. So that does patch all 4 chapters. So if you go into any of the chapters, you will be able to see on the title screen, it also says in the bottom left 30 TBps mod. So that's how to patch that in.